All right, we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like we're going to wait to get a couple people in here. If there's anyone in here
Yeah.
already, throw anything in the comments. We got 2 people minimum at least watching. Thank you for hopping in right away. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Whatever you want to, we can start with a topic you guys decide, whatever. Throw it in. Otherwise, we'll probably do a recap. So they hopped out. Looks like there's 0 according to the old thing. So should we
Well, listen, Tony.
start yapping?
Yeah, we can start yapping. I think everyone that does join, the numerous folks that will be making their way in and out of here, we need to change something, right? We need to change the starting lineup. I don't think we're gonna make any blockbuster trade at the moment. But I would be shocked. Maybe I'll have to say it a few times, but I would be shocked if we don't see a big change in the starting lineup. Obviously, you'll see Zach there, you'll see DeMar there, you'll see Vooch there, but I'm thinking we might be sliding out Io and Patrick Williams of the starting lineup. I think it's that time. Tony, do you agree with me? I think at the very least, I'd say we either see Javante or Goran in the starting lineup. I'd be shocked if we don't see both of them on Friday.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just not working. Whatever's been. I know we were, before this 3 games skid, we were 6-6, which is pretty good. But 3 in a row, and especially I know the first Pelicans loss.
5 of the last 6 too.
Yeah, it will coming into this. I think they said Bulls had won 3 of 5. I think it said that's what what's his name? Big old Will Purdue was saying. The Bulls had won 3 of their last 5, which is funny because we just did a podcast where Bulls are dead. But now they've lost 3 of 5 at least.
Yeah.
So that's I think those stats are correct. Either way, you can't get blown up by the Nuggets and then come back to a team that you played close. You just played close. They don't have Zion, and you just put up a stinker. I mean, it was close at halftime. It was 58-53, right? And
yeah,
straight out of halftime. I mean, talk about running with the Bulls. They ran away from the Bulls and fast.
Yeah, I'm having a tough time even just trying to just focus on this one game because it just feels like a lot more than that. The repercussions of this. You probably see anyone that's in the video, and Tony, you're included on that. Anyone that's on Bulls Twitter right now, anyone that's in the Twitter sphere, like Zach himself. Zach, I mean, the vibes are bad right now. The vibes are really bad. I was just reading a tweet to Tony right before we hopped on here from C Red Fred, and he's just talking about we got to do another rebuild. And I mean, it sounds dramatic, but you can't even fully disclude that at this point. I mean, I get where he's coming from. It's also really tough to have a big 3 that are absolute liabilities on defense. We were able to get by with it last year. Lonzo helps that a lot. I mean, I think we were giving Lonzo a lot of credit for his 3-point shooting. Oh, we need his 3-point shooting back. I know I've said that quite a bit, but dude, I mean, you can't expect Io to recover every possession for you guys. Lonzo can pick someone's pocket a little bit. Io's maybe a little bit less dangerous on defense. Patrick Williams pretty solid, but I mean, it's tough, man. It's tough seeing those 3, and their net rating is they're down we're -20 when those 3 are on the court together, which is really weird, right? Because there are scores, there are guys, but it's just something's not going right.
And that's perfect. Zach summed it up here too. The biggest issue is that I'm not sure what is not clicking. Oh, I thought you said that it's not clicking. I apologize when I read this. Yeah, we have so much talent, just don't seem to play well together. So you nailed it there. You kind of did nail it. You're absolutely
that's
right.
The thing is, I don't really know. I don't know what it is. Obviously, those guys are our big 3 for a reason. I mean, I'm not trying to criticize them. It's just it's just so weird seeing our starting lineup get down like this. Our bench is who pulls us back in the game. And then, we're in a close game with no matter who it is, which I'm sure with the Magic, it's going to be, at this rate, it's going to be a very tight game. I hope. Jeez.
Wendell Carter is going to just eat us alive, unfortunately. And it's not that he's a great player.
Don't know.
And it's not that we're a bad team. He just loves attacking us, just attacking us since he's left. It's a Super Bowl. It's his NBA championship. It's whatever you want to call it. It's his
It is.
Die Hard day, whatever. I don't know, movie reference. Armageddon, probably. Never saw the movie. That's what it is for him. Every time he plays the Bulls.
Well, and I don't know if you've seen Mr. Paolo Banchero yet this year, but that guy is an absolute freak. I mean, I don't know
Mhm.
who's gonna be able to step in front of him on Friday. I like
If I'm the Magic,
he
I
could
do
have his
that.
way.
Yeah,
He
if I'm
could
the
have his
Magic, I do
way.
that death rotation I think they were joking about, where who's it? Wendell Carter, Paulo, like you said, and they got another big man who I am blanking on so hard. They tweeted out a picture. I think it was a joke, like, oh, this is the lineup we're going with tonight, and everyone was just over 7 feet, basically. If I can find it right here.
Yeah, I mean I'm scared, man. I mean every day is a battle here with this team. By the way, we just not only do we not like to make threes, but we
Oh,
also just
Bull
don't.
being the other
Oh,
one.
I mean, yeah, wow.
That would be the worst. That'd be the worst thing that's ever happened to us. We would lose. I mean, I get the argument that we could play small. Like, I'm making that argument myself. No one else. This is the first time I brought this up, so no one has made that argument. But I can see that that's the argument: is we can play small, we can run, we can outrun them, we can, But the thing, we can't shoot threes. That's the thing too. That's how you beat
Well,
these
and we don't.
trees. That's how the Warriors have lasted so long. Not
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we are not the Warriors, that's for sure. It's because they just shoot over you from really far for an extra point because it's behind the line. That is the key to beating these big teams. So they might.
Well, the problem is,
I get
Tony,
theirs.
is that not only do we not like to make 3-pointers, we also don't like to guard the perimeter whatsoever. I mean, Trey Murphy, he looks like a solid young player. He was not on my radar before tonight. That guy was playing out of his mind. He looked like an all-star out there.
Mhm.
And granted, some of that is just, he caught fire. He's a good player, whatever. He's in the NBA. I get it. But I'll be honest, man, DeRozan was like a good 5 to 7 feet away from him for half of those attempts. And that's brutal. It's brutal, man.
Yeah, the Pelican shot 17 of 33 from 3. The Bulls shot 11 of 32. So Pelican shot 51.5%, Bulls shot 34.4%. I will say those numbers are a tad deceiving because the Bulls were definitely chucking at the end because they had I remember looking earlier.
Tony Bradley hit one.
Yeah, it was an absolute it was a great game. A 1-for-1, baby. It was his only shot of the night too, 3 points, had a rebound. I mean,
apparently he won the Adam Amin, credit to him. He said he won the like this week in practice, he won their 3-point contest. Tony Bradley Jr., folks.
Sure, that's probably why he was able to shoot that 3 during the game. Coach,
that's why we haven't shipped him off to like the Shanghai Sharks yet. Is that what it is?
Yeah, honestly, I know we discussed trying to get off his contract. This may have increased his trade value. Zach, if you're still in here, what do you think? Tony Bradley for Jay Crowder straight up? You think that would go through? Obviously, we had to throw in some money.
But I love Zach's comment, by the way. Sorry to cut you off, Tony, but I love that it's just sticking to. It's just the last thing in our stream right now.
Oh, it's better than any banner.
Give me a stiff drink. No, this is great.
The perfect. This should be the
I
title.
would never hate on your banners, but this is a good one. I like this one.
Yep. Give me the hot sauce, more like a stiff drink. I mean, yeah, just anything. Honestly, I'd rather drink a bottle of hot sauce than watch.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did want to put hot sauce in my eyes actually the whole time.
Definitely, that was okay. I'm watching some highlights now, not to brag. Although I will say, Will Perdue was wrong about the Bulls winning 3 of their last 5 coming into tonight. Maybe the stat guy that put it on the board. Maybe he didn't say that. I wasn't totally listening. They've lost. I think it's 5 of 6 now. You're right, Nick. So I apologize for that. But yeah, Levine 25 points, 9 of 22, 4 for 11 from 3, 5 assists. I mean, that's. I don't want to say it's Westbrook numbers.
Yeah, no, he was padding. He was padding at the end, and I don't actually have the stats pulled up, but I want to say his 4 threes were. I mean, they were within the first 3 quarters. Like he was looking hot. I was like, oh. I mean, every like Trey Murphy 3, it felt like Zach was going to come down and hit another one. He did brick a few too, but I thought it was going to be a battle. I thought it was going to be a close game, and they just blew the doors off once we put in our starting lineup. and the
I
third
will
quarter.
say potentially a good sign if we're gonna take away a positive here. We're gonna take away a positive, and Zach, will get to your comment. I like that. That's definitely
Yeah, I
something.
like that question.
That's the next thing we're talking about here. Zach played 36 minutes tonight. It's the most by 5. DeMar played 31, and then CJ McCollum was the only other player in the game that played more. He played 37. CJ McCollum's a warrior. We all know that. Not
And
on the
that was
team,
they
but
were on a
individually.
back-to-back too. That's the
Yeah,
other thing, man. They were on a back-to-back without Zion. I just remembered that. Jesus.
yeah. Yeah. Well,
And that's why Zach played 36 minutes, because we had all the time off in the world. We've played like 2 games in the last 10 days.
it's true.
Brutal. So
Yeah,
we can get to
this
Zach
was just
comment.
such a butt kicking. It's one of those you hear the football coaches always say it. It's like, we're not even watching film. We're just burying that tape. We're burning that tape. We have nothing to learn from it because it was so bad. We do have stuff to learn from this, but I'm not the coach of the team, so I'm not going to go back and watch the tape. For
Yeah.
me, this is, as a fan, this is a burn the tape, come back and get them against the Magic on Friday. It's a team that you got to beat. You should be able to beat.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're going to be. It's really going to ramp up in Chicago. What Zach's saying here. So if you make a trade, who goes and who stays? Is this a Billy issue? Again, I am so at a loss right now. Buddy, same.
Yeah, me too. I'm trying to provide some nice expertise here, since we, I guess, are putting on this video, but I'm also at a loss. I have a tough time blaming the coach in general, just because I don't think I'm smart enough at the X's and O's to where I don't feel like I can make an accurate judgment. Now, of course, you can diss him, and deservedly so, for some of the timeout management, but you can't blame a whole season on that, right? So it's like I'm having a tough time blaming it on Billy, but I think the blame will shift to Billy shortly if we don't see maybe some lineup changes, like I said, with Goran maybe sliding into the starting spot, and maybe even kicking P. Will out of there. So I think that's when the Billy talks I'm gonna bring into the picture. But for now, I'm having a hard time blaming the coach. Tony, I don't know. How about you?
Yeah, I am with you. The timeouts are funny. I
And
know.
that's fully my ignorance. Like, it could be like Billy could just be blowing this thing up and I don't even know it. But to me, it just, from the eye test, it seems hard to blame the coach at this point in time.
Yeah, I'm with you. And the timeouts, I can't remember who it was that would always. I mean, it was Tom Fernelli, CBS Chicago sports writer, but he would always tweet out, like, I think it was him, Jim Boylan timeout alert with like 30 seconds left on 30. You know, like one of those where he's taking dumb timeouts, and he's not doing that anymore because it's a different coach. It's not a clown show in the same sense, at least. You could maybe argue it's getting to a point where it's weird with the Levine stuff, Lonzo stuff, whatever. We won't go there yet. But he does take. I was watching before. I was like, did they just come back from a timeout? I swear it was one possession, took a timeout, and maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but I know I was. So he does have kind of those weird timeouts where he waits a little too long, he does a little too early. I agree with you that it's hard to blame him, a coach for defense in the NBA. Thibodeau, I know, gets the most out of his guys, and he's on him. But with this team, if this was a young team, I think that's different. And I know that we have young players, but it's tough to be like, DeMar DeRozan, why aren't you up in his face? Like Zach LaVine, who cares if your knee's clicking on you? Vooch, get up in his face. It's hard. I get that it's kind of, they're 30 years old. Zach LaVine isn't, but DeMar Vooch is 30 years old. They're going to keep playing basketball how they're playing basketball. And maybe that's the point where he's not getting the most out of his guys. Maybe if that's the argument, I can see that. The other thing is he's not going to coach DeMar into shooting 3-pointers. He's not going to coach. I mean, Zach's just missing them. That is what it is. But he's not going to coach these guys into hitting threes. So, I mean, there is a level of
right. And they all have the green light too. I mean, it's like, even though DeMar's not even a 3-point shooter, you're never going to tell DeMar not to shoot 3. I mean, there's some things that you can't do as a coach that obviously has hurt Thibodeau. I think Thibodeau's crossed over that line, maybe perhaps a little too much, where he's treating them like high school kids. You're like, well, hold on a minute.
Well, that's why the Bulls, the Timber Bulls at the time, the Knicks, you name it. That's why they burned out in the playoffs. That they'd have these great seasons and they'd burn out. And whether it was because they just truly weren't as talented, it wasn't the regular season anymore. So we don't have to keep talking Thibodeau. Well, here's Zach agreeing with you. Got a couple here, and I like his follow up to it as well. I'm a huge Pat fan, talking about Pat Williams, but agree that having him come off the bench would be a better fit. He could feel, or he would feel more freedom to be aggressive and score versus deferring to DeMar, Zach, and Vooch. That's what he was in college. He was a sixth man in college, and he was awesome.
Yeah,
I will say, awesome as a sixth man.
Well, and like I said, he'll have energy too for offense if he's not having to cover DeMar, Zach, and Vooch's ass on defense too. So that's definitely a fair point. I think. I mean, we got to mix it up. We got to mix it up at this point. And then Zach, your follow up. Tony, you want to click on that?
Yeah, we'll go to Marcus's after. Yeah.
So obviously, if you don't know, Woo is Javonte Green, folks. He's the man, and he does bring all the energy and all the defense. So fair point. I mean, at this point, I've also enjoyed Javonte's a little bit more confident with his shot as well. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I mean, I know he's drastically undersized. He's like 6'4" with heels on, but we all know there's 5 Javontes on the court. I mean, he plays differently, so he plays bigger. Wouldn't mind seeing that.
Yeah, and Marcus, I see your comment. We'll go to it right after, but I'll just kind of put a bow on this here. I think it would, I mean, like a baseball team, like even a hockey team, like really any other sport. Football's hard, obviously, to do this, but kind of just a shakeup, whether it's, hey man, you got to earn your minutes back kind of thing. This guy is just out. He has more passion for the game. Yes, he may not be more talented, but he just is giving us more of what we need right now. So you swap Javonte Green in, or it's kind of like, again, for the hockey, if we got any Blackhawks fans in here, how they never played Kane and Taves on the same line. And that's because then you're just so top heavy. Maybe you filter him in there, like you said, once he's kind of the best player. Obviously depends on if Caruso's out there, but playing on the court with the bench mob, then yeah, maybe that's how he shines. Maybe that's what he wants to do. And last option is maybe he is, he follows in the name of the great Williams before him, Lou Will, and he sees it better coming off the bench. That's what Lou Williams' thing was. He just liked seeing it, seeing the game before he got in. But I don't know. So we'll go to Marcus here. Thank you for the comment, Marcus Couch. You look like a big old businessman. No, that's a real picture. So I think it's too early to blame Billy. If we get 25 games in and still the same, then we can freak out. I'm with you.
Couldn't agree more.
I'm with you. This is a preemptive. I'm about to get nervous. So it's a preemptive. I'm nervous.
Yeah,
that makes sense. 2 preemptives is. So I'm not. So like at 20 games,
we're hovering over the panic button, but we're not.
It's on the table. It's on the table. There's a little glass case, deal or no deal action. There's a glass case. It's over it still. We're getting ready to lift the box up to be able to press it.
We're putting gloves on. We're putting gloves on to handle it with care.
Absolutely. Howie Mandel would, that's the only way he'd allow it to happen. So we're lifting the box probably at 20 games. 25, we would really have to start nitpicking. It would have to be like the same still. If it's even getting a little better, I'm still keeping the box open. But it's a hover. You can feel the heat coming off that bright red button, the panic button. So yeah, that's that's where I'm at. I think that was pretty descriptive, Nick. Sounds like you're on the same page. I don't know, Zach, Marcus, if you guys are, but I don't know, man. It just stinks. It stinks because it feels like, and the part that made this team so fun at the beginning of the year was that they were electric. And I know there's tons of teams that are electric, and the good teams are electric. Cool. For sure, Marcus. I apologize. Absolutely. Drop the handle in here, my man.
Drop it.
You do look like a businessman. I'm just saying that's a good old picture of you there.
Yeah, that's quite a headshot.
So Marcus hosts a Bulls podcast as well. Check it out. Maybe we'll have to do something. Do a little bull on bull action for the boys.
Oh, boom. Bulls.
Pretty simple. I like it. That's good handle.
You nailed it.
You were quick on it. Quick on the draw. I like it. Yeah. So official comment. Not worried yet, but getting close to being worried. Here we'll go with Zach's here. And I think this would be a great way. Yes, this would be a great way to kind of maybe kick him in the pants a little, especially against the Magic. Dragon Bender. Just kidding. That's obviously not who it is. Goran Dragic, Alex Caruso, Patrick Williams, DJJ, Drummond equals the bench mob, best second unit in the league. I mean, that's just a fact. Andre Drummond
Wouldn't
being
that
your
be hilarious though if they pulled like a like a AAU coach and Billy just pulls all the starters. DeMar and Zach are sitting on the bench. Then we just pull up to wherever the Magic play, and
Yep.
that's who our starting lineup is. That would be pretty
Yep,
hilarious.
wherever Disney World or wherever, wherever
I'm
the
sure that
Magic are at down there.
I'm sure that would cause no turmoil in the locker room or
No,
anything like that.
Billy's not the guy to do it. If
Right.
Tibbs was still around,
That's a
he
Tibbs
would
thing.
do it.
I didn't want to bring up his name again, but
I
damn
know.
it, that is a Tibbs thing.
We have to. He's ingrained. He didn't leave on bad terms. If I was bringing up Jim Boyle
Sure,
again, then it's
sure.
like, dude, what are you doing? But I would never bring
Fair.
it up again.
Agreed.
Yeah, I that would be it's early enough where Billy could get away with that if he just says, yeah, screw it. We're just you're not starting tonight, boys. We're just bench mob is in. Pat doesn't get to be involved in that. This is the case, though. Pat does not deserve it. We gotta, Javonte Green gets a start. Honestly, this team, this lineup, they are I don't know what it would be, +4 over 48 minutes if you per 48 against the Magic. I think so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, man.
I think the size hurts him, but
Caruso might have his shot back, his highly touted shot.
He was the third leading scorer at one point. Do not have it pulled up.
I tweeted it about his he needed that for his confidence, just because, I mean, I read something that he was like, for guards, he had the lowest offensive efficiency rating in the entire league. So I'm glad he got a shot back. I know that's not what he's here for, but I just want to see the man happy so that he can go buck wild on defense.
Yep. All right, Zach, looks like you're pacing out. I think we are probably getting to the end here too. Oh, actually, if we're still getting comments, we'll stay. But thanks for tuning in, Zach. We appreciate it if you're still in here.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
With all the comments here. Alex Caruso did finish with the fourth most points. He had 13. Vooch had 14. We must have just got him at the end there. DeRozan had 28. So I'm not calling for a full bench start. Yeah, that fair.
Yeah, we were joshing around.
I was a little over my skis on that one. But a Dragic, Io switch in starting roles would be a better start for us. Yeah,
I'm with you.
Might as well. And as long as this is where Billy's coaching has to come in.
If this doesn't happen, I think at this point, if this doesn't happen, I'm not saying we're gonna really do anything, but then the Billy combo can start.
I'm gonna get angry. Yeah,
I'll
yell at my TV.
Seeing red, that's for sure. Yeah,
yeah.
No, it's got to happen. It's got to happen this for.
There's a good way to play it. And obviously, I'm not in the locker room. I've never met Ayo Dosunmu personally. He seems like a very humble guy. He's got DeMar DeRozan to talk to him. Whatever. This is one of those. Hey, we're not benching you because you stink. Like we're not. The switch isn't. We're not out on you. But, I get you're just, when Lonzo comes back, if Lonzo comes back, you're going to lose this spot. So it sucks that we're kind of potentially taking it away from you here. But you got some learning to do. You got some growing up to do. It's not your fault. You were kind of just thrown into this as a second round pick, although he should have probably been a late first anyway. That's where Billy's coaching has to come in, where he guides them into just this. Okay, you're sitting by, we could say the Packers, Aaron Rodgers behind Brett Favre. I'd say Justin Fields behind Andy Dalton, but that was a disaster. So there's no real Bears comparison I can make here. But that's the point I'm trying to make. Just kind of watch and learn from the master. We're paying him this money anyway. He said he wants to play. That was the whole reason he came to the Bulls, so he could play. What do you say, like 20-something minutes a night? Use him, especially now when it's okay. We're just getting Zach back. We're at a spot where we can try things where it's not going to hurt us if it goes wrong. Does that make sense?
100%. And
it'll hurt us, but it's not. This isn't 60 games in. That's
right, right. And to Goran's credit, he's clearly outplaying his contract. I don't think anyone. I mean, even with that marker of having 20 minutes a game, I don't think the Bulls were expecting him to have this kind of output. So why not give him a shot? We gotta change something up, and we know he can fit in. So got it. It's a no-brainer. I'm with you, Marcus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think we're going to do, if we got any more comments in here, I see there's one person watching still, pretty sick, not to brag. We're basically, it's, one is better than none. I've always said it. So throw any final comments if you got any in here. I'm going to do we'll do a Bulls Magic prediction, I guess. We could do that. Anything else, anything at all you got, we'll give you a few seconds to put that in. So I guess we can start with Bulls Magic. Final prediction, Nick. You don't have to do a score. If you can't think of one on the spot, I can do mine first. Do you think the Bulls win, though? You think they beat the Magic?
Yes.
All right, there we go. Good night. Yeah, no, I also think they beat the Magic.
No, I think we do it. I think we do it, but I do think that we need to change the lineup, and I do think it needs to be the Dragic Io thing. I think I've decided. I don't know, man. I don't hate the Patrick Williams Javante thing. I understand if doing both of them at the same time would cause a little too much ripple, but we gotta do something, man.
We're getting to the point where it might have to be a drastic change like that, where it
I
isn't
think
just,
I
we
think
just
so.
need a little tweak here. Like it's, that's 2 blowouts in a row. Like 2 never really close. And again, I know I mentioned earlier it was close at halftime. I get that, but it never felt. It was pure domination overall.
Yeah.
So I agree with that. I will say the Bulls, we talked about on our podcast that we put out yesterday. I guess earlier today it would have been. The Bulls were averaging 110.8 points per game coming into this game, giving up 110.9. They gave up more tonight, obviously, than that. They scored 110 tonight, right on the button, basically. Obviously, if you round up, it's 111, but we're not doing that. We round down here just to meet our narrative. So,
correct.
I guess they're sticking to the pace. 110 point averaging 110 points a game isn't bad. That's the worst part. I think it's just the defense. I think that's my official final comment is the defense. I know we're not hitting threes. And I guess it was a blowout, garbage time points. I'm sorry, I'm just watching highlights here. Zach with the dunk.
Well, and I'm pretty sure I don't have the scores pulled up, but I'm pretty sure it's like we've scored like literally 110 every time. Like it's not like we had 91 game and then like 130. We're never going to score 130 points. I mean, we just got to play better defense, and just know who we are on offense.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, my final score prediction is the Bulls are going to win 110.8 to the Bulls are going to win 110 to 100 and let's call 105. I think they'll be favored by like 3 or 4 of the Bulls. Actually, they probably shouldn't be, but I think they will be favored. So we'll say they cover. I think they'll win by 5. They'll clamp down on defense, like truly just a nut up game kind of thing. Like show us what you got. Hopefully Billy rallies the troops here. And yeah, I think, Bulls win. Bulls win on Friday. You don't even watch the game. You already know what happens.
It's going to be like 80 to 77. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a college.
149. Yeah.
It's going to be a mid-major. It's going to be like Belmont versus Appalachian State.
That's a great point. Yeah. Yeah. Our inability to hit anything behind the 3-point line and the fact that they're all just 7'5" and also can't. I will say, actually, I mean, they can kind of shoot. I don't know. Well, we'll see. This has just turned into rambling at this point. Oh, here we go, Marcus. Thank you. Right at the buzzer, my man. All right.
Oh,
I say
yeah.
Magic 110, Bulls 106, Bulls loss. Wow. There's no reason for us to honestly think we're going to beat the Magic. So that's probably the realistic take.
Yeah, no, I think that's what the the fans don't want to hear. Probably the Bulls neither. But that is probably what is going to happen, Marcus. But we'll see. But yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. Everyone is freaking out right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I would like for them to not freak out. So a win would be nice.
A win would be nice.
But we got to be realistic, and I think Marcus is being realistic.
Yeah, and my last point here will actually be in Marcus's favor here. If the Bulls lose, it's bad in the moment. However,
of course,
that could push for, unless it truly is just, nope, everyone's fixed, we're back, Lonzo is magically healthy, whatever. That will push change, if that makes sense. Like that will push for, all right, Io can't start anymore or something. We got to have Dragic.
True.
We got to take P. Will out. We might have to make a trade. It'll push something because right now, even if we could beat the Magic and it's like, oh, we broke the skid, we win by 2.
Yeah.
We're not going to beat a top 15 team in the NBA right now.
I'm with you. I'm that's a great point, actually. I really like what you just said there, my friend.
Yeah. Obviously, I want them to win, but that's an analytical take, if you want to say.
But I think we both have agreed over the course of this that the change probably needs to happen even before that, even before we lose to the fucking Magic, right? I
That's a
mean,
good point.
so
That's a good point.
it's crunch time, baby. I think, yeah, Marcus is onto something for sure.
Yeah. Well, that will do it. We went 30 minutes, just at the 30-minute mark. Thank you for anyone coming in here. We'll do one. We'll throw this up here as we fade out into the darkness. A bounce back victory over the Celtics after that might put us back on track, though. We always do well versus Boston. Dang right.
Fair.
Even though we did lose to them the last time out. However, Chicago sports since whatever that Monday was, 2-1
yeah.
against the Boston area sports. So
We got their number.
I like where you're coming from. Actually, yeah, this will be for I don't know. They might play one more. They probably play again because it's the East. But yeah, this is the battle for mass. Battle for mass, bro. That's what it is.
It's gonna be
Chicago,
ours.
Massachusetts. Yep, that's what it is. Yeah, there we go. Nailed it.
Flows off the tongue.
Yeah, before I say anything else stupid, we're going to get out of here. So thanks for tuning in, Marcus, Zach. I know you already pieced out, but thank you. I know there's one other person in here. Thanks for the nice little 4-man show tonight. 2 people watching, 2 people doing the podcast. That was fun. And we appreciate it. We'll be back. Don't worry. Hopefully we can get a few more people in here. If not, we just like chat with you guys. So that's also okay too. So everyone have a wonderful night. I'm sorry the Bulls stink. Thank you, Marcus. You're the man. Can't wait to have you back. We'll hopefully we'll be rapping a different tune. We probably won't be at this pace, but I'm fingers are crossed. I got my Bulls sweatshirt on.
Hey,
go ahead.
Yeah, shout out Marcus, man. He made this go along. As did Zach. So shout out the boys. We'll see you next time for sure.
Yep. And with that, thank you for tuning in. Oh boy, it's getting late, boys. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Just Another Year Chicago live after dark. Just came up with that right now.
Sick.
We put out content all the time, so keep follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you think you can find us. Our Twitter handles at JYC Tony. We already lost probably Marcus or someone here at JYC Nick for the last person watching. Maybe it's just Nick Rohde watching. Who knows? So follow us everywhere. Have a good night, folks. Keep seeing red. Bulls will be back. Nobody panic.